Hey everybody, Von here with the Vonster vlog, and we are here for day 8 of a year of yoga. The poses we're going to be doing in order are tree, forward bend, cat-cow, down dog, lizard, cobra, cobbler, and camel. And I'm going to be showing you guys some modifications on these too because I know I personally have a super duper hard time getting into camel. I am wearing as comfortable clothing as clothing can get. And I've got my yoga mats and my blocks, which will be linked down in the video description. I've said it before and I'll say it again. And you'll likely hear it again in the future too. This is my favorite yoga mat. It has cork in it, and so it actually keeps my hands from slipping when I'm in downward facing dog. Now, I can't guarantee that that's going to work for everybody, but I've been on a quest since I was 14 years old to find a yoga mat that my hands do not slip on, and so it's very nice to finally have one. We're going to start off of our mat or on it if standing poses are comfortable on your mat for you. I prefer the rigidity of the ground of my wood floor with a carpet on it. And I'm just going to rock forward and back and feel where my feet are today. I'm trying to build up the strength and mobility through my ankles and my feet. I've been walking around barefoot a whole lot more, which is kind of dangerous in my house, but it makes my feet feel so much better. And we'll just I really like to breathe in over the count of 4, hold for a moment, and then exhale for the same amount of time. And just sometimes just counting will focus my whole mind onto one thing. It'll quiet that monkey chatter of just my busy brain. Okay, so after shaking off and stepping out of the husk of the rest of the day, we're here to do some yoga. We're going to begin in tree pose. I'm going to, hopefully my feet are in frame. If not, thank you for your patience with me. I'm going to lean through into my right foot and send my roots down, send my energy down through the ball of my foot, my pinky toe side, both sides of my heel, and forward and back, like really like I'm pushing the ground away from me. But that's from like my center down, like the rest of me is growing up and out. So it's almost as though I'm putting in the action, the pent up potential of pushing and like leaping, like pushing myself away from the ground. And I'm going to bring my left toe to the ground and find my balance. Going to rotate my left leg out, bringing my heel to my calf. And again, finding the stillness here, the balance. Now I'm going to bring my foot up onto my calf entirely. So the sole of my foot's against my calf muscle. You don't want to do this directly against your knee because that can put unwelcome pressure onto your knee joint. And we're going to breathe. And we may even grow up and out through our arms today. Just be where you are. Sometimes you might be a little bit more comfortable with hands in front of your heart, with your toe on the ground, provide a little bit more balance, or your arms outstretched to the side. And we'll come and we can creaky board. We can send our roots down now through our other foot. I'm going to move on to a board that sounds a little bit less like the retribution of Taco Bell. Sending the roots down through our left foot. I always neglect putting weight on the pinky toe side of my foot, so I like to focus on that. But you'll find areas that you need to balance in, and you can work on those. Bringing our toe to the ground, turning our leg out, and bringing the sole of our foot up to our calf, if that's where you're at today. Come back down. Ooh, that was a bit much for my left foot. I know, Sam dog. So now we're going to move into our forward bend, and I am going to come onto my mat for this. I'm going to get my hands nice and alive, wiggle my fingers, wiggle my toes. Big inhale up, and exhale as we swan dive down. You could use your blocks here. You could use the back or the seat of a chair. I'm just going to inhale and exhale. I'm rocking forward and back on my feet, putting the weight into the toes and then into my heels. You could even lean a little, putting the weight, the bulk of your weight into one leg and then the other, and also into your hands. Just feeling that connection. Now I'm going to let my head and shoulders hang. And then lengthening through my spine, bringing my back flat, feeling the stretch through my hamstrings. Now we don't want to be locking our knees in this position. That's a tendency of mine that I'm trying to practice myself out of. So an engaged knee is a happy knee, but a locked knee just makes for trouble. Yes, Sam dog. We can just practice a couple of breaths here. Now we can come back down into our forward fold and walk our hands out. Bring our knees down. We're going to do some cat-cow. Exhaling into an arched back. Inhaling. There we go. Teaching yoga or communicating what I'm doing is very difficult because oftentimes I'll be saying inhale when I should be inhaling, and then I have to exhale from the breath I took to say inhale. So the important thing is to breathe with your movement and to make sure that you do keep breathing and with that awareness. Because once you've built up that awareness, you'll be able to get much better at, inhaling when you feel you should be inhaling and exhaling when you should be exhaling. I'm actually going to put my blocks under my hands today, seeing as how they're here and convenient. I feel like this helps me to get a little bit deeper of a curve in my back for cow. I can get a little bit deeper into that contraction and the stretch across my abs. And then whenever we come into cat, pulling that navel into your spine, tucking the pelvis, opening your shoulder blades across your back, Still keeping your shoulders away from your ears so there's still space. There we go. Now from here, we can sit back on our feet and check, because I've forgotten what posture I'm supposed to be doing. Downward dog. Okay, so let's take a moment to stretch our wrists out, make sure we aren't putting too much pressure onto those puppies. And now we're going to come back into tabletop as though we were going to do cat-cow. I'm going to bring my hands forward just about an inch or so from where they would have been. Curl my toes under. Big inhale and exhaling. Push our tailbone towards the sky into downward facing dog. And I am just shifting my weight from side to side. Really enjoying that stretch through the whole back side of my body. Like basically from my tailbone to my heels is just nice and stretched. And then building strength through our upper body. Keeping our neck and shoulders relaxed. And just a few more breaths here. I realize I'm like right up on the microphone. And then from here, we can come back down, bring our knees to the mat. And we can bring our foot up into lizard. I'm going to start with my right foot today. Just drag forward. And then bring in my back knee up off the ground. And focusing, this is something we didn't really touch on yesterday, but opening up and radiating through the chest, lengthening through the top of your head and your spine. We can bring our back knee down, untuck our toes, bring our elbows to our bricks or the mat. Coming back up, bringing that foot back, bringing my hands over to the right side of my mat, getting my clothes out of the way. I really love this top, but it's occurred to me it is not the best top for teaching yoga in, but it is super comfy though. Bringing our foot up, placing our hands under our shoulders, planting our back foot, raising our knee. Lowering our back knee down, untucking our toes, bringing our elbows to the mat or bricks. Coming back up, bringing our back foot back. And now from here, we can lower onto our tummies, nice and slow. And we can start doing Cobra, which we're going to, I'm already all clenched up. We're going to relax our whole back body for a moment. Scratch the dog, because he's a good boy. He needs his scratches. But we can start to, without clenching our glutes, or heck, with clenching them too, just experiment and start feeling what parts of your bodies are engaging for what. But we can bring our upper body, our shoulders, up away from the ground without using the strength of our arms. And come back down. Inhale and exhale up. Inhale I like to run my fingers across the ground just to remind myself that, like, the option is there. I can catch myself if I start falling. But I am focusing on engaging through the back of my body. Now from here, we will plant our hands and continue supporting where our back was already engaged. I'm of the personal opinion that I think exercising the back of our core is just as important as doing all those crunches and sit-ups and stuff that everybody's always doing to try to get, like, abs. I am not about the ab aesthetic for myself personally, but I do want a strong core. And if we practice engaging so that we get our backs involved, then most of the work of this posture is not necessarily through our arms. Though they do help. And from here, we are coming back up, crawling our feet forward. And I think I lied to y'all. I had said we were going to do Cobra, Cobbler, then Camel. And what I'm thinking here is that if we go from Cobra to Camel, it's kind of less of a transition. Like, or if we did Cobra and then Cobbler, that would give us some counter bend. Let's go ahead and do Cobra to Cobbler. So we're going to cross our ankles, roll back, because I don't want to have two kind of back bendy postures directly side by side. I'd like to give some counter release to, like, if you do a forward bend and then a back bend and then a forward bend and then a back bend. So that's my thought process behind it. And I'm interested in hearing what y'all have to think about that, because I want my yoga sessions to flow, but I also am trying to keep it balanced. So not just, a half-hour long session of nothing but forward folds. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. You could have them very close to your body. You could have them a little bit farther out. I'm going to go a little closer today than what I have. And I like holding on to my ankles or my feet, whichever feels comfortable. And I'm focusing on opening my thighs down. It's engaging one of the bum muscles. I'm still learning my physiology and anatomy, but if we engage that muscle to open our legs, it makes space for us to then inhale and exhale, start to fold forward. And we'll start just up here at the top, because we don't want to just hunch over. We want to keep our spine straight and growing up and out, but bending at our hips like a hinge. So it's getting quite hot in here. I've turned the air conditioner off because even with the microphone, it picks up on the loud window unit that we have. So I feel really bad that I'm like getting like a runny nose and I'm sweating and just huffle snuffle snarfing into the microphone. So sorry, but also ASMR, who knows? Taking a deep breath, and on our exhales, we can wring out that dirty sponge that is my lower back. And I am just stretching a bit from one side to the other. You can place your hands on the ground. You can hold onto your feet and you put your elbows on your shins to kind of encourage a little bit more, press in contact with the ground. But focusing on growing your spine out. Inhaling, we can come out of the stretch and we can deepen with our exhales. Also, using bricks to reach out can really be helpful in keeping your spine nice and straight, but getting deep into that stretch, if that's where you're called to. All right. So now we're going to do our last pose of the day, and that is camel. Now, this may be something that you may want to have a chair behind you. There are a couple of really good YouTube videos out there showing how to do modifications for camel. And just more than anything, do your research, listen to your body. So you don't want to fool around with back bends. Now, having said that, I'm going to go fool around with back bends, but listen to your body. So the way that I am positioning my lower body now, I'm standing on my knees. You can double up your mat if you need to. That's why I really like the squishy mat under my yoga mat. And I'm going to be with my toes bent under because that does raise my heels up a little bit. But whether you have your toes folded under or your feet on the ground, you want to be standing on your feet as much as you are your knees. We're going to be engaging our glutes to kind of push our pelvis forward. And it's a little bit of, I'm familiar with it as a belly dance move, but it's you want to lift your sternum, almost like a hook has hooked you under your sternum and is lifting you up. And that's where your back bend starts, is you engage, because by lifting this, it's engaging our abs, our glutes are pulled under, and we can start articulating back. And again, supporting with our glutes and our legs. Like, this is whole body for me, it feels like. And I'm getting my bricks back here by my feet, by my heels. I'm going to start with just one side. I'm going to be lifting my arms, got my chest lifted, and then I'm just going to come around and find that brick. And then come back up. Now we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So we're lifting and start that bend. I'm still not where I can get both of my hands on both of the bricks just yet, but an alternative to this is you can make a fist and put it on the backs of your either side of your tailbone. Inhale, lifting your chest, starting to get that back bend. And this way, by having your hands there, you can assist your abs, because you don't ever want to get to a position where you've disengaged your abs and you kind of like flop back. You want to keep your abs. That's what's controlling all of this. The Fit and Bendy is a company that I follow. I have couple of their DVDs, and like I love the information that they're putting out. They have some really great advice, as well as Katie Breyer Contortion over on Instagram. But again, more than anything, research and learn. I am not touching the mic. I am not a trained yoga instructor. I hope to be one day, but this video is me learning and learning with you guys. So I'd love to hear down in the comments what your all's thoughts are on all this. And thank you guys so much for coming and joining me for day 8 of a year of yoga. I'm pretty excited. I cannot believe we've done a week of this solid already. But I can't wait to see future Von's face when we've done a month of it, when we've done 6 months of it. So we're gonna keep at this, and I will see y'all next time. So until then, keep on keeping on. Bye.